Thank you. Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I guess it was inevitable. Hollywood has come a-knocking. Yes, they want to do the movie version of my story, my life, and when I sat down with the producers, they said, you know, you're going to have to spend a lot of time with the actress who chooses to play the role, and, you know, for a few months, you're going to have to hang out, tell your story, show your sense of humor, show your relationship with Bonnie. And I said, you know what, I'm busy. I don't want to hang out with some Hollywood actress. I've got better things to do. They said, you know, Charlize Theron's interested in playing the role. And I said, you know, I've got an extra room in my house. She could move in. You know, just live with me for a few months. That'd be good. I stood on that shore in Havana for the 5th time over 35 years. We all love a story, and I got to live a compelling, dramatic story out loud. I first walked down to that shore at the age of 28, brash, cocky, jellyfish, sharks, get out of my way. And 42 hours later, in an 8-foot sea, stung all over the place by Portuguese men of war, I was humbled. For the 5th time, by the age of 64, I stood there again. And I will admit to you that there was some trepidation this time. I looked out at that horizon. It seemed more elusive than it ever had before, because we knew too well now what was out there. This is a vast, dangerous, epic ocean. Since 1950, the great ocean swimmers of the world, men, women, strong, fast, have been trying to get across. It's the Mount Everest of the Earth's oceans. And to me, it wasn't another athletic event. I had done many, many swims, Manhattan Island, Bahamas to Florida. This wasn't another endurance moment. This was an emblem of touching every fiber of potential within my being, of summoning every drop of courage that it would take to make it across, and the same for my entire team. And that day, as I stood there looking out, I was a strong spirit. The whole world called this event now impossible. Nobody of any age, gender, era will ever make this swim. And they gave me the computations of the limitation of glycogen deprivation, of being immersed in a liquid 15 degrees colder than your body temperature for 2.5, 3 days, of trying to digest in the supine position where all of that nutrition goes into empty spaces instead of your digestive system to use for muscular contraction. And I didn't stand there a woman or a 64-year-old or a lesbian or a pacifist or a Democrat. I stood there, an emblem of the power of the human spirit. Thank you. And I took the plunge, the leap. It was a physical, literal leap, and it was a leap of faith. And if you could have been flying above us for those 53 hours, my team, you would have seen 2 kayakers side by side with electronic shark shields, creating an elliptical field underneath, where the shark experts tell you they don't want to come up and eat you. They're intelligent animals. Yes, they might come up and take a leg, but they're not going to eat you whole, which is, you know, very heartening to hear. Now I've already survived in 2011 the box jellyfish, the most potent venom on planet Earth. Most people touched by a tentacle of that animal die instantaneously. And somehow, in anaphylactic shock, spinal cord paralyzed, I lived through a massive series of swarm stings, 2011, and now we're heading out into that territory once again. The mighty Gulf Stream is tugging you 6 times faster than your speed, east, 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 and you're trying to swim 100+ miles north, north, north. It's complicated. And if you had been above in a drone camera, a helicopter, and flying above us, you would have seen these two kayakers. You would have seen a flotilla of a true expedition. The epicenter of the activity in a boat over near me here. I can never touch the boat. I can never get out, but my lifeline, Bonnie, my head handler, in charge of my life. The medical team, the shark team, the jellyfish team, the navigation team, 44 people. And here we went. The first day was glorious. I was singing my songs. You're trying to keep in the moment. You're trying to remember who you are. You're in a state of sensory deprivation. Tight cap over your ears, trying to keep the heat in your head. Fogged over goggles, turning your head 60 times a minute. Once a second, you are quickly into the interior of your mind. And I'm singing, I hear you knocking at my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Ooh, the damage done. And after 1,000 versions of Neil Young's The Damage Done, no headphones, just singing in my own mind, hearing that magical, eerie Neil Young falsetto. When I'm done with 1,000 Neil Youngs with a metronomic stroke grooved in all these years, I am not 1 second over or under 11 hours and 7 minutes. The first night was hell on earth, wearing a silicone mask because the highly scientific thick pantyhose hadn't been good enough the year before. And now slapped, the waves came up that night, slapped in the face, walls of seawater, vomiting into the mask. Your tensile strength is now gone. Your fingertips are weak and you're reaching for the edge of the mask to get it up, clean it out, get it back on and keep going. The next day, Bonnie, instead of every 90 minutes, calls me close to the boat to take in electrolyte drinks and food, try to replace some of the lost calories, rehydrate to get ready for that second night, which, if it's possible, was more hellish than the first night. Now I'm cold. Now I am forgetting who I am or what I was doing. For hours, I got fixated under here. I saw the yellow brick road, and I saw the 7 dwarfs, not Dorothy, on the yellow brick road. And I was stopping swimming. I was fixated. What are their names? Why are they out here? And Bonnie kept saying, we've got to go north. We're getting dragged east. I just want you to keep swimming. Finally, I stopped and said, Bonnie, do you see the yellow brick road and the 7 dwarfs? And respectfully, she looked over, took a good look. Yeah, I see them. I see them, and you know the great thing about them? They're going right where you're going, so get swimming. And you know, I breathe to the left, so my right ear goes down toward the ocean floor, and it was faint. They were so far below there, but I could hear them singing and whistling. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go. You know, when you have talents, you flaunt them. You know what I mean? Now, I was hanging on by a thread. I was shivering. I was gazing up at the 4 billion stars you can see out in the Gulf Stream, literally. I forgot who I was and what I was doing, and Bonnie blew the whistle for shark. You stop. You dog paddle quietly over toward the boat. The shark divers come in around you, and she said, turn around. I turned around this way. I was kind of childlike. My vision was gone, and she said, what do you see? I said, I see the stars. She said, no, down low at the horizon. I said, Bonnie, I can't see anything. It's black. I see black ocean, black sky. She said, pull up the mask, pull off the goggles. You've got to see what I'm seeing. Pulled it all off. There was a little white filament across the center of the horizon. The sun was coming up. You know how it is. The sun brings hope. The sun's rays are going to warm my body. Bonnie, the sun's coming up. And she cried, and she said, "It's not the sun. Those are the lights of Key West." And after 35 years of not relinquishing that vision, there they were, the lights of Key West. Actually, they weren't quite right there. As it turned out, we had another 15 hours to swim. And as we got close, 2 hours away, bright blue skies, palm trees visible on the shore, I asked my team. Not one got paid a cent through all these years of giving up their dreams and their lives for our grand adventure. I asked them to come around in a semicircle here, and I cried. I said, "I guess I'm going to stumble up on that beach pretty soon. I guess somebody's going to take my picture. But don't you ever forget, my team, that we did this together. We made history together." So much has happened since that Labor Day 3 years ago. I can't tell you what a tsunami has come my way. We got to go to Fidel's white marble palace before President Obama and Raul Castro announced the rapprochement, and we stood in that palace, lined up shoulder to shoulder, the Cubans that side, shoulder to shoulder facing us, and for the first time since 1959, the American and Cuban flags came walking down between us. The Star-Spangled Banner played for the first time since 1959 in our honor, and I can tell you how honored we are to serve as a minor gesture of connecting our two nations again. Bonnie and I are starting, thank you. Bonnie and I are starting a movement, the biggest walking initiative in American history. It's called Everwalk. Join the Everwalk Nation, will you? We are going to get 1 million people to pledge to walk 3 times a week, every week of the year, and we are going to literally change the collective health of sedentary America. Thank you. When I did stumble up onto that beach, there were a few thousand people in Key West who had made it down, and they were weeping. It wasn't because, just like for me, the meaning of it wasn't an athlete breaking some record. The meaning of it was the first words I said when I reached the shore, which were, "Never, ever give up." People are fighting cancer. People have lost their jobs. People are dreaming. And if you just don't quit, whatever your other shore is, you will get there. And my message was for the world at large. And so here we are, the work you're doing, the inclusivity that you are demanding in your workplaces, parallel to the message I carry and was taken worldwide, the #1 Google search in the world for 72 hours. And the message was, all of us, no matter color of skin or ethnicity or which God we do or don't pray to, or which sexuality and sexual preferences we declare, all of us deserve the right to touch every fiber of our potential, to summon every drop of our courage. So for you to sit around perhaps 20 years from now and say, "I am so proud of my company, Johnson & Johnson. I am so proud that Denise Torres at J&J, and all of you, I'm sure, have people who are championing your cause, stood up and said, not in my office, not in my workspace. Everyone is welcome. Everyone deserves to show their talent and prove their worth through their hard work, nothing else." I admire what you're doing, and I'm honored to be with you here today. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Woo! Find the way. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Good luck.